Join me on the 4th annual Homecoming and Pilgrimage to Sierra Leone on December 28, 2021 through January 9, 2022. We will be exploring this beautiful country, and eligible individuals will be receiving Sierra Leonean citizenship and passports. For more details, check out our website, sierraleonepilgrimage.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Go Ham Lifestyle Vlogs, because we all need an Africa escape plan.
Hey, African Diaspora! I wanted to come to you guys today, and I wanted to talk about a very serious subject. And all subjects that we speak about on this channel are serious. But guys, recently, in Texas, there was a big abortion bill that was passed into law, stopping or prohibiting doctors from performing abortion after a woman is at least 6 weeks pregnant or more. 6 weeks being the determining reasonably medical asserted time period by which a fetus has a heartbeat. So at the point in which a fetus has a heartbeat, and most fetuses have heartbeats at 6 weeks, they believe that it is then no longer just and right to perform an abortion. At that point, you're killing a person, so they signed it into law. It has caused a lot of issues because a lot of people are, about women's rights, etc. What I want to discuss is not so much the law itself, but the theory behind the law and why the Republicans did this. Okay, a lot of people say that this is because of genocide, or they're trying to demolish different races. That is one of the things that it could possibly be, but you got to think about it. If that's the case, why would they make abortions harder? Okay, people say, oh, because white people have abortion, blah 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 blah. Abortion is only illegal here in Texas. So what happens is you have to now hop states and go seek an abortion elsewhere. The only people that are going to have the money to be able to do that are going to be white people. So they will not really be impacted by this. There are ways around for them to still seek abortions and get them legally. Who would not be able to get abortions would be blacks, Hispanics, people that are on the lower income scale. They will not be able to leave and go out of town just to seek an abortion. I'm sure in all the outerline areas, abortions will go up in price. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, places that we can get to relatively easy. Arizona, New Mexico. I would assume it's going to go up. And so what's going to happen is people are not going to be able to afford abortions. White folks can afford the abortion. So then we have to not abandon that theory, but think about another reason as to why they would do this, guys. And the reason, and this is just my own thought process and theory, just in learning history and knowing the political parties, is because the Republicans are losing traction. You have to look at history and look at every time the Republican Party is starting to fail. Every time they're losing membership, they hit on abortion. What it does is it's a way to mobilize and magnetize the people to go polar. It's going to force people to move all the way Republican and force people to go to the Democratic Party. They will glean more members than they will lose by attacking abortion. That's why. Abortion has long been a litmus test for political parties to gain an advantage over the other. And that is why it's being used at this time. Roe versus Wade from 1973. If y'all look at it, Republicans weren't always anti-abortion until Roe versus Wade in 1973. After that, a few years later, when they were dying, they then took a big stance on abortion, and it pumped life into their party. Gave them a lot of new members, pretty much saved their party, okay? And gave them a little, grease the wheels, per se, of the Republican Party. Well, Donald Trump has torn them down. He's made them look horrible. They're fighting each other. Their party is dying. What are they going to attack to keep themselves afloat? When Donald Trump himself was destroying the party, what did he start to talk about? Abortion. Abortion is the litmus test. It's like religion almost. It's infallible. People feel how they feel about it, and they ain't gonna change. Okay? And it polarizes them. Boop. It is a very tough, big, argumentative subject. And it causes people to divide so that they try to conquer the other side. Republicans need assistance, y'all, so they're moving towards abortion. You got to watch the party, because anytime they're failing, they hit on a huge, big, infallible subject. They then use that infallible subject to polarize the masses, split and divide. What happened was that people were starting to merge over to be Democratic. But with this anti-abortion bill, whoop, they're getting their members back, and other people are coming with them. That's the purpose of it. And it's horrible because it's utilizing, hell, you're throwing dirt and stones at the other side just to try to get your party big again. But that's what they're doing. It's sad that women are used in this. Their bodies are made mockeries of in this. But the woman's body and abortion is one thing that they're able to polarize the masses with, so that's what they're using. Look at any time it's ever come up, an abortion has ever come up, and they've pushed an abortion agenda, they were failing, y'all. And we have elections that are coming up soon in the next couple of years. They have to have something that they have to preach on. They have to have a stance. They have to have some deliverance from Trump and what he's done to the party, and that's it. So it sucks that, all of this is going on, and people are thinking it's race wars, etc. I didn't say that there's no racism involved. But you got to look at who they're making it hard. They're making it hard really on Hispanics and blacks to get abortions, because white folks are going to go find somewhere else to get an abortion at anyways. And we are a huge state. We've always been Republican. So they knew they could get it passed here. So the Republican Party put Abbott up to pass it in his state first, so they can start polarizing the entire nation, to pick sides, so they can see how many people they have and what's going on, so they can get their votes. And that's all this is about. They're using Texas to get the national vote. That's it. It's simple. And with the way that it was written, a lot of people want to know why, the Supreme Court overturned. Supreme Court didn't overturn anything. They neglected to hear the case, because their argument was that the people that brought the case, Planned Parenthood, doctors, don't have standing. In court, you have to be the right person to sue. A case can always get overturned, or overturned even for the first time on appeal for standing. When a standing allegation is alleged in court, the judges listen, because that's automatic appeal, and it's coming back. It's coming back on them. They're getting in trouble from the higher court for not knowing that there was no standing. They're getting in trouble for litigating a case where there was no standing, where people didn't have a right to even be in court. Anytime a person alleges standing, they can pull up standing at trial, and the court's going to say, halt, we got to look at standing. Is there standing? And they have to address that before they move forward in anything substantively. So that's what happened. They didn't address necessarily the substantive nature of the bill and whether or not it was unconstitutional. They didn't get there because Texas and Greg Abbott alleged standing. Boop. These doctors, these organizations don't have standing. And when they alleged standing, Supreme Court said, hold up, halt. Let's look and see if they're standing, because we don't have time for appeals going on. That's going to make us look bad. We're going to waste the judicial system's time. We're wasting money. The citizens pay their taxes for us to fight cases that are real cases, where people who are supposed to be in court are before the court. Let's look at standing. And they determined they did not have standing. In order for and I'm going to make this quick, but who should have brought the case was a woman trying to get an abortion. That's who has to bring the case. A woman or a group of women seeking an abortion, because those are the only people that are being hurt by this. But because it's an infallible subject, everybody is polarized, so everybody feels that they have a right to fight that case. That case is only for women who are seeking abortion who cannot get one underneath the law. And Planned Parenthood and these doctors should have gotten women who were seeking abortions who now cannot get one to run, and they should have supported them to fight the case, and they should have stood behind those women. So that's what they've got to do. They've got to find the right plaintiff, which is going to be a woman. And it's going to have to be a strong woman or a strong group of women who are ready to be held all over the United States, that are ready to catch death threats, that are ready to have their lives changed over this. Because their names will be attached to that litigation forever. And that's what they're having a hard time doing, is finding a woman or a group of women ready to come out and say, I want an abortion past 6 weeks, and this is unconstitutional. And that person has to bring that case. So right now, that's what they're looking for. That's what they should have found to begin with. Because it's only hurting the business of the doctor. It's only hurting the organization, the business of the organization. It's not hurting them specifically because they have nothing to do with the law. It's not stopping them from doing anything. It's stopping them from carrying out a service, but they don't have standing. And so standing is tricky. And here in Texas, we're good at writing statutes and knocking the people out with standing. It happened here with the government. The doggone judges tried to sue Greg Abbott over an executive order, and they couldn't because they didn't have standing, because it didn't affect them. The defendants are the one who it affected. So they should have had the criminal defendants bring the case. The judges tried to. He put an executive order. Abbott put an executive order in with Corona regarding PR bonds, personal recognizance bonds, and said that the judges should be giving them to people. The judges were like, hell no, these people are horrible. We can't just be letting them out on PR bonds. They've committed all types of heinous crimes. And with you putting an executive order in front of our faces, you're almost forcing us to do what we don't believe in. We believe they need bonds and high ones. Right? So the judges of Harris County tried to sue him for that. Couldn't catch him. Too slippery. They didn't have standing. Because the law in and of itself doesn't affect them. Who it affects is the defendant. And you got to find a defendant that doesn't want a PR bond to take the case up. You ain't gonna find one. Right? And if you find one, that person's got to be ready for their life to be changed and for everybody to give them death threats, because they're going to be the reason that no PR bonds are given, because they're going to be a defendant saying we shouldn't get PR bonds, because that's who it affects. So that's how they lost their case, and they never were able to bring it back against him. They didn't have standing. And so that's what he's good at, y'all. He's good at that. So he did it again, and he did it this time to, Planned Parenthood, all of these organizations, and these doctors. And so the wrong people sued him. Because of the way the statute is written, it says it has to be, and it says it in the bill, that it must be an aggrieved individual, a woman, or a group of aggrieved women who are seeking abortion, because it says the law is catered towards them. So when it puts them in the law, that's the only person who can have standing. That's who has to bring the case. And we'll just sit back and wait and see who they get. Right? That's why it's Roe versus Wade. It was a woman. So we're going to have to see what woman comes up. What Mary, comes up to step up to fight and challenge this law. But that's the idea behind it. It's completely political in my professional opinion. Now, if you ask me, do I believe that they're afraid that blacks and Mexicans are having children at an alarming rate? They're afraid. Yes, they are. They're looking at population. And when you look at things, even in the judicial system, with me being a lawyer, we're always looking at population. How many are black? How many are white off in the system? How many are black? How many are white and Hispanic with voting, with school districts, with everything, right? And they know that, and they're very consciously aware that they're not having children at the rate that we are. But the thing is, and I'm on African Diaspora, so I can say this, they keep us down in other ways, so that one of them equals three of us mentally and on the level of the judicial system and of government, so that we don't fight them. They put a lot of red tape and involve a lot of red tape and structure off in everything, which they've done with the Voting Act, and that's the way that they handle us. They're not trying to handle us with population per se. Does that make sense? Because that's why they just kill us off and jail our asses. We have to think of that thing. That's their solution for that. Their solution for the fact that we reproduce so fast is to jail us and have us, with an unequal application of the laws against us. That's why we're in jail all the time. Okay? Because that's what they're doing to deal with our population and the population issue. What are they doing with the Hispanics? They're putting a wall up. Okay? Because they reproduce at a very fast rate. They're kicking them out of here. Right? That's what they're doing to them. So they have other ways that they're combating that. If you ask me, this entire abortion bill is behind political gain and them controlling the entire country with the next election. Not population. That's too long. You got to think about it. You got a short way to get somewhere and you got a long way to get somewhere. Republicans go the short way every time because they're looking for instant gratification. They will also put a long way plan in place. That is the judicial system and the unequal application of the laws against colors. That's the long plan. What's the short plan? Abortion, polarized, boom. Let's get all our white people back on our side, boom. We'll hit it. We'll win the presidency, and then we can crunch further and stay in control. Y'all got that? I think we just need to look at it from that aspect, okay? And you always want to look at it from that way because you want to make sure that you're looking at all ways that somebody's coming against you. You don't know one way. You got to know all ways that they're coming. So that's what the abortion bill is for. So what you do is you don't allow it to make you fall out or make you leave your Democratic Party. Because there are many Democrats that don't believe in abortion. You don't allow that to make you leave your Democratic Party. That's what they want you to do. Okay? They want you to look past the fact, and they want to throw something out there so big that they want you to look past the fact that they don't have the laws in your favor and just look at abortion. And it's such a big thing and come with us because look at these people. They're killing babies. And that's it. Okay, so I love to have this talk with you all, African Diaspora. Y'all know I love to talk to y'all. Y'all are a little bit deeper than a lot of other channels. You guys have good big brains, and y'all use them a lot. And so I just want to put that on your heart and on your mind. I know this video is a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but this was a very touchy subject, guys. Make sure you post your comments. Also, come over to my channel. My channel is Legal QT. It's here on YouTube as well. And y'all have a fantastic day. But we will revisit this subject. I'm going to be reading the comments, okay? Seeing what you guys have to say, seeing what questions you have about it. Email me, booker@bookerlawfirm.com, and let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about it. Y'all have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Black women, aren't you tired of the propaganda of us being viewed as strong but not soft, masculine but not feminine, combative but not pleasant? And this is what our men are saying about us. In the Black community, we were taught to be strong and educated, but not soft and feminine. Get on your feminine journey and join me on YouTube at Mrs. Danielle DeVita, my podcast, Feminine Energy with Danielle DeVita, or you can just book a session by going to mymentor.life/Danielle DeVita. Get on your feminine journey today.
Hello, everyone. Please make sure you subscribe to the African Diaspora News Channel app on these platforms.